What is good, y'all? It's Casper. Today's video, I'm going to be talking about the third season, episode 5 of Tulsa King. Season 3, episode 5 of Tulsa King is called On the Rocks. It's 43 minutes. Directed by Joe Chappelle. Written by IIdy Modrovich and Sylvester Stallone. When I saw Stallone have some writing credits, I knew that he was going to have a lot of screen time and those motivational boss moments, and he did have those moments in this episode. We are still continuing on with the bourbon stuff, and we also are still continuing on with hatred all over this mafia world that Manfredi is in. In the beginning of this episode, we're seeing how the gang is setting up their place to have like a legit bourbon spot. And in this episode as well, you can definitely see that Dwight is in his head a lot because he has 50 million things being thrown at him. Sylvester Stallone's acting in this episode. The costume design is looking really sharp on him in this episode, as it always is. You can kind of tell he got a haircut before filming this episode. There is moments in here where it looks like he's losing his breath a little bit, but since Stallone is a very experienced and great actor, this dude knows how to recuperate on the spot. And this episode, very impressed with just a lot of the scenarios that Stallone has to deal with. We're seeing more how Dwight's business ventures are just being really targeted by a lot of people. Bill is getting phone calls from New York, and we're seeing Vince being very nosy. Vince is just a person who just wants any type of action, and he's from New York, so New York getting no action right now. Bill, with the lines in this beginning episode, really like how he's basically letting them know, like, please leave me alone. Bill's presence in this episode is kind of like a whirlwind as well. This character is going to be dealing with a lot of stuff kind of in the same aspects of Dwight now, because responsibility wise, Bill is holding his own crew together, and Bill went through some stuff in this episode where he's acknowledging and letting Dwight know that one of his spots got raided. So now Bill is having like second thoughts about Dwight doing stuff behind Bill's back. And this episode is just showing a lot of clash upon the business partners between Dwight and Bill. We still have Dunmire in here doing what he has to do to basically try to get that bourbon back. Moments in this episode where I'm just like sweating in my seat because I'm just like very antsy. The anticipation of what is the next move gonna happen is super real. You get really good moments from Dunmire in this episode as well, talking about interrupting Dwight's business. Dunmire in this episode is now using his tricks up his sleeves, basically the attorney general, to take down Dwight on this bourbon stuff. One thing in this episode that I honestly really enjoyed was the Dwight and Tyson moment in this episode. From the last couple episodes, how I've been acknowledging the fact that Tyson's been doing a lot of stuff in here where kind of looking very unexperienced. But this episode kind of brought it back to life again. Tyson's a character that actually knows he messes up and actually wants to be better. So the interaction that you see in this episode between Tyson and Dwight, I honestly liked how short and simple it was. And I really appreciate those moments. I think Stallone might have been a part of that writing session. Jay Will, who's Tyson, his acting is really good in those moments on just being himself. With his growth in this TV show, I'm pretty sure he's very impressed with his style as well, because he had really cool style in this episode, and the costume design made him look very fresh. Could only imagine the options he had. Cool to see that Tyson is back on the level of where we kind of want him at. We got Cole, who showed up at the bar and ends up talking to Scarlett. Later in the episode, we see Dunmire and Cole and his whole crew end up destroying basically warm-up party for the bourbon that just came out. Scarlett ended up seeing Cole there, so that's going to be one of those side things that you could definitely know that's going to come up later. Egos are out the roof in this episode. They're just super heated, and they just had enough type of momentum. Dunmire in here sending a health inspector to basically shut down that party event. I'll add as well with this episode and this third season that they're not shying away on actually showing some blood. This episode is another blood episode where it came out of nowhere. Things get set up, but when they happen, you're like, oh shoot, wow, what a great way to actually show that. So this episode, crazy to see that the health inspector actually went through some things, literally adding more problems to what the gang has to deal with. It shows the excitement as well, because the gang already has a plan for that. So I'm just like, what is gonna happen? We finally get to see that one boss dude that Dwight met in Texas. We find out that he's in charge of making like detonators and explosives that are kind of like untraceable. So devices that are untraceable. That was a very quick interaction. set up very, very well. His name is Dexter Deacon. He's played by Dallas Roberts. Interesting character. Agent Musso actually gets involved in this episode as well. Now we figure out that he's more of a nosy dude with bugging Dwight's phone, which is wild. His role in this episode, it was perfect, and leave it kind of that way. I would say just leave it to the point where he only shows up maybe 2, 3, maybe 5 minutes. That episode 3, I think it was a little bit too much, but right here just showing that he was like in and out of this episode. Well done. This episode is just adding a lot of small little side pieces that we're actually looking forward to, like Armand as well. Been mentioning his name, still lingering around. Bill's presence in this episode is definitely felt, and very hilarious that Cal Thresher got involved in this episode, still trying to get his ranks high in the election polls. I thought there was a funny scenario when Cal Thresher saw Bill for the first time. That was just one of those scenarios like, no way he would be here. The presentation of these actors doing those crazy chess versus checkers lines are still here, and it's a good look right now. They're actually showing it really, really well. This episode, I honestly can't believe how it ended. We end the scene with Dwight at his house, and Bill shows up, and that's where I was talking about how a lot of the egos are clashing, because now Bill thinks that Dwight is doing stuff kind of in a secret way where it's kind of leaving Bill behind. This is where the writing is making us as viewers very, very antsy in our seats and being like, oh my gosh, what is about to happen? You want that feeling of, can this week go by faster? The one thing I didn't like about this episode is the music score. There is some good music that fit the vibe of this TV show, but then there's some music in here where either they chose it to be goofy and have Dwight say it is trash, because he does say the music is trash while they're on the car ride. That's the only thing I didn't really like, to be honest, was the music score in this episode. After my watching the third season, episode 5 of Tulsa King on the rocks out of 10, I'm gonna have to give this episode a 9 out of 10. So that's my review for the third season, episode 5 of Tulsa King on the rocks. Shout out to you guys for tuning into the video. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace, y'all.